It's now time to take a look at news stories making headlines around the globe. Now, the private sector coalition against COVID-19 is planning on distributing food to nearly 2 million households. In their first formal press briefing, the coalition representatives from the Dangote Foundation, MTN Nigeria, and also Access Bank revealed plans to also ramp up testing across the country. Arise correspondent Adefemi Akinsanya was present and sent this report.
Leading by example, the private sector coalition against COVID-19 plans to support the Nigerian government in ramping up its testing capacity by building isolation centres in 6 locations: Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, Enugu, Kano and Maiduguri. It's already ordered 250,000 tests and 250,000 more cartridges despite international competition.
This is a global fight that we're in. It's not just us trying to get these supplies, it's everybody else. We got a first shipment of 10,000 test kits from Roche on Thursday that are being distributed across the country. There'll be more coming as we go. So the 250,000 we ordered aren't coming all in one fell swoop because they have to be manufactured and they eventually get to us. But we're expecting that over the course of the next, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, that we'll be increasing the quantity of testing that we get here in Nigeria.
Food support is also on the way. Distribution is expected to reach the bottom 5% of the Nigerian population. That's some 10 million people across 1.7 million households.
The government is all packaged, and let me tell you what they're giving. Each person is having a 10 kg bag of rice, is having 5 kg bag of gari, is having 2 cartons of noodles because of children. All right, is having a 3 to 5 kg sugar, is having 1 kg of salt, etc. Which basically and of course pasta. It's important to us is let this food get to the bottom of the pyramid. And insofar as you're doing it across all 36 states, perfect.
Despite the progress, the coalition says its work is far from over and has called on more donors in the private sector to join forces for the betterment of Nigerians.
There's still a lot of opportunity and we would like business to participate. And as I said, if you haven't participated as yet, please get hold of us. We will tell you how to participate. But suffice to say, I think it's a very strong group.
The coalition against COVID-19 say this is the first of many briefings they plan to hold. Going through the press to reach the people, they say their mission is clear. They want to use the power of the private sector to ensure we all stay alive together. Adefemi Akinsanya, Arise News, Lagos.
And there we just heard from our correspondent, Adefemi Akinsanya, who was present at the first press briefing for the private sector coalition against COVID-19. And we heard some very positive outcomes from that particular press briefing, namely 250,000 test kits being ordered. Now, for me, that's extremely good news. Now, it was expressed that this is going to be over a period of, let's say, 6 weeks maximum. Wasn't too clear, but we do know that the testing capacity is going to ramp up, which is exactly what we need right now. Food going out to 1.6 million households, also a brilliant initiative. The only thing that I would like to point out there is while staple food is the most important food to pass over to households during this point in time, your rice, your pasta, your gari, whatever the case may be, we also need to find a way to ramp up on nutrition, fruit, vegetables, see how we can partner with local farmers to get more supply of that produce as well. Of course, we know it doesn't last as long, but nutrition is also important, boosting up your immune system at this point in time, just a suggestion. But the private sector coalition are doing an amazing job, and this is really, really, really good in terms of developments.
Well, we discussed this subject about 3 times yesterday on this program.
Yeah.
And I already made preliminary comments yesterday. But from what Adefemi Akinsanya has done, it looks like there's additional information. So quickly, I would like to say what they're trying to do is commendable. Perhaps where the public sector fails, the private sector will be able to make a difference. And what sticks in my mind is Adefemi Akinsanya's phrase about using the power of the private sector to save lives.
Yeah.
I think that is important. But they need to pay very close attention to strategy. It's very good that they are talking about testing. Yes, testing is important everywhere in the world. In the United Kingdom, in the United States, the big issue is about testing. How much of your population can you test and ensure that you are able to reach, the largest number of people? Here in Nigeria, the biggest challenge that we have is really testing. We've been told that we've done about 8,000 as at yesterday, but even that is low compared to what has been achieved by Ghana, by Kenya, by Mauritius, and other countries in Africa, and even including South Africa. So to see the private sector saying that they will ramp up, they will provide support to ramp up testing, that is important for us to be able to get a fair understanding of the seroprevalence of COVID-19 in Nigeria. Number two, they're talking about food distribution. Yesterday, I said it's not about giving food items. We had Eyamba Dafinone on this program yesterday, and she was saying, look, instead of just giving food items, 10 kg of rice, 5 kg of gari, 2 cartons of noodles, salt, pasta, 2 to 5 tons of sugar, perhaps it's better to just prepare the food and make it available to the people. Now, the strategy they are trying to adopt is to go through wards chairmen and local government chairmen. Now, these local government chairmen belong to political parties. Their basic instinct will be to focus on party members. And I think that the private sector, in operationalizing this initiative, should not fall into that trap of being used for partisan purposes. They should not connect at the political level. They should connect at the people level, because that is what they are telling us about. And that is very important in my view, because these local government chairmen, they are politicians. You really cannot rely on them, despite the fact that they say there will be members of the private sector that will oversee it. Now, the third point is about testing. They are talking, no, not testing now, about isolation centers in 6 parts of the country. Yes, those isolation centers, the private sector has a capacity, to deliver.
Certainly.
And to deliver state-of-the-art isolation and treatment centers. And I think, again, that will require a lot of monitoring. But at the end of the day, there will be need, either on their part, the 23 billion naira that they say they are deploying now, or the 25 billion naira that they have contributed through the CBN initiative to ensure that there is proper audit, there is accountability, and that there is transparency, and that there are no rogue elements involved in the private sector initiative who are using the opportunity to award contracts to girlfriends and small girls. I think that point needs to be made.